Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts. As many of you guys or the viewers are watching, if you watch regularly, I'm quite prolific with the YouTube videos. Probably a bit too prolific. I'm doing one just about every day. But like I said before, I'm retired, so it's kind of easy for me to do it. Keeps me busy, idle hands and all that. But I haven't put one up since so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I didn't put one up. And the reason is I was in the hospital. I'm going for a small surgery on the 2nd and 3rd of November. I've got an enlarged prostate. Fortunately, when they did the biopsy some time ago, it wasn't cancerous, so that's good news. Touch wood, it's okay. But the reason that I went stayed in the hospital overnight, I went in at 10 o'clock on Saturday to a private clinic in Durbling, near where we live in Vienna. And I stayed Saturday night and most of Sunday, and it was to get all the tests done. You know, if I went as an inpatient, even though I didn't need to be in the hospital, I can get everything done quicker than I can if I do it as an outpatient and try and go for MRI scan, ultrasounds, chest X-rays, cardiac specialist, all this kind of stuff. And the reason I actually went, just to let you know, is I'm quite bad with blood pressure. I've quite high blood pressure, and obviously the operation is not a big deal. It's just coring the prostate out, so it reduces, and I can get off the pills that I was on for it. But what obviously the anaesthetic, general anaesthetic, is an issue, because obviously being obese, being massively overweight, a heavy smoker, and so on, which I'm trying to cut down. I've got back down to 20 again with a puffer, so I'm using my puffer. Thanks to Sean. So if I can get it down or even stop it, that would be, stop something completely, that would be great. But anyway, they did all the tests and apparently everything's fine, so I can go ahead and have the surgery done and hopefully get off these pills, because I hate taking pills, even for a headache. So, just wanted to let you know what was going on. So, I'm going to, the video you'll see, I'll do a bit on the Mini and a bit on the XK, because we've done quite a bit of work on, or Amir's done quite a bit of work. And just to put this in, Piper Doug always takes the piss saying, oh, he's doing all the way, oh, everybody. But the idea is I'm 64 soon, and you know, by the time I'm 70, I won't be able to do these restorations. So the idea is Amir will completely take over from me. I'll go in taking cakes and bother him and annoy him. But the idea is he'll carry on with doing the restoration work. Now, I've had quite a few requests. I won't go into the details, but I've had quite a lot of people ask me if I would do some work for him. The biggest problem is, obviously, I live in Austria, so bringing a car from the UK to here or wherever is a real hassle. And I learnt my lesson a little bit with the work I did for Nigel on his E-Type. To be honest, I was lucky if I broke even on that deal. I wanted to do it, but by the time I priced it all out, I really just about broke even. So he got an extremely good deal on it, but I stood with my word. So I don't want to get into a commercial workshop. But in the future, when one of my projects are done, the chances are me and might do some extra work. So you know, we'll keep it in mind. And he loves doing minis. He loves doing classic cars anyway. But it's not economically viable for us. So I appreciate that guys feel that our work's good enough that they would want it to be done. But it's just not practical because of the distance and so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but it's just what it is. And as I say, I don't want to do it commercially. I want to do it as a hobby, and I want to enjoy my cars. So yeah, that's that. So a couple of quick shout outs, because I'd like to have a look at these sites. I've already mentioned them before. The first one is Randy from Lone Star Mini. He's in Texas, USA. He's just done the same as I did with the bar across his jig. He made a brilliant job of it. I mean, he really went to a lot of trouble. But I think it will pay him back tenfold, because he's got 3 cars, or 3 minis I think he's got, and it will. I think this thing will work for him really well. It's not a set thing. A lot of guys put tubulars through, and it's good enough and strong enough and what have you. But I just think the strength you need in the 2 pivots is really essential to getting keeping the body correct. And anybody who's got one of those rotisseries from the UK, I believe they're even making an extension bar for it now, and certainly some other braces for inside, because they've realised that there is a market for it. The other one is Lone Star Mini. The other one is Tony Alott. Well, it's actually Tony. John is John A-Lot is the website, but his father Tony, they're building a pickup Mini, made a cracking job of it. I mean, to be honest, there ain't a lot left of the car. I think it's really just the A-post and the roof by the time they finish, from what I can see. Even the bulk has been changed. Amazing job they're doing, really cracking job. And I dropped him a comment yesterday and said to Tony's not very keen on the well-through primer. The problem is there's a lot of spray cans saying it's well through, and it's not. It's primer and then it just burns off. If you go for a really good well-through primer, like a pro would use on a joint, then believe me, it's expensive, but it's good stuff and it works well. But this so-called spray-through primers, they're not, you know, zinc and all this kind of stuff. You need something that's actually made for the job, and there is special ones, and you don't get all that, the paint effect, if you like. So yeah, so John A-Lot, and that's how you pronounce it apparently, A-Lot. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, this is a little thing, I don't know for the likes of Tom or anybody, when you're restoring your car, this is a little idea I came up with. I don't know if you like it or not, but I had these made up, and they're basically little brass, well they're actually aluminium but in gold, and as you can see, hand built by David and Amir, and then we've put the date on it. So I've got one there, that's for 2016, so that's for the E-Type, that's when it was finished. And then I've got others now for the cars coming up, which is 2019 for the Mini we're building at the moment, and 3 of those, 2 for the XKs and the Mini, and then this is for my Mini 2018 because it's actually finished in 2018. I just, you know, I'm going to put them on the bulkhead, and because they're aluminium they won't rust, and they've got a special contact on the back. So I thought, you know, it's kind of nice. You could put your email address in it or just whatever. I think it's a nice little finish on the car just to show who's done it. You can have whatever you like on it. Anyway, so really that's it. So as I said, I'll show you what Amir's been up to. He's been very busy with the. He's down at the moment working on the Mini for the arches, and I contacted Tom Gould. This is the guy. He's in the office now. He used to be on the sales desk at Mini Sport, and I talked to him about these arches because he wanted me to send them back, but I'm going to come to the UK, I think second week in November. So if the boys are watching in and they want to meet up again, I'll go to the same pub restaurant or pub hotel where I was in Manchester before. So if all the boys want to meet up again, that'd be really great. Or anybody else lives in that area, you know, if you want to come up and get together, and we'll have a couple of beers or orange juice if you have to drive home, whatever. Yeah, so I think the second week in November, but I'll keep you up to date on that, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. And so a quick one on the Mini. I don't know if you remember, if you look back on some of the old ones, you can see, sorry the light's not great under here, I'll bring it that way, maybe that's better. You can see I put this flexi pipe in it, and what I did mistakenly, I put it right next to this remote, and it was kind of catching and rattling on it. So what we did is we took it out and turned it the other way. So I guess this actually would be better closer to the manifold, so there's most flex there from the engine when you're starting up and so on. So he's changed that around, which is good news. And we'll start on these repairs here. What we're going to have to do is cut out the dynamat or the soundproofing in here, and then we'll knock them down, and then we'll get it back over and get it painted. Maybe mask all this out, and then they're going to do the back piece as well here. Some very bad finishing here, you can see it's horrible. So we'll get all that done, and they can redo the whole thing, the whole floor. You can see there's a run there, quite bad run. So they're going to do all that. Okay, what else have we got? As you can see, the workshop again is full again. We've brought everything back from the place we were renting because in December the rent's up, and we've been having a bit of trouble with the chap's wife. She's been getting on about us working there, and I did rent it to work there, and she doesn't want us to do that, so we'll use it as a storage till December, and then we'll just get out. Anyway, so I've brought everything back, but I needed this to bring the floor pans out for a start off, and we've come up with some ideas about extending the garage, but in a temporary way. I'll go into that in a later date. You can see there's the Cooper engine for the black one, or black come white, that we've got down in the garage. We're doing the extension arches on, and this is going to go away to Max. The other two minis will do the engines ourselves, and he'll do all the crank and so on and so forth for the machining, because I can't speak German and it's difficult. But we'll rebuild them engines ourselves. But these are being uprated with twin chain and high lift cam and all that kind of stuff, and he's really top notch. What Max doesn't know about building race car engines and stuff is unbelievable. So I'm going to go take it over tonight at 7 o'clock, and with all the equipment that I bought in Mini Sport, and he'll start building it, and then we'll go from there. So the next development is this is Johan's XK, and you can see this is a set of old rocker covers, and you can see how they look, and this is it. Now this has been glass beaded, and he was going to try and get it electro polished, but apparently they can't do it. So we did a little test this morning, because if you look at this one and then you look at mine, you can see that that's all polished. It's not clean, absolutely clean, but it's all polished up. I have to do the carburetors again anyway, but they look so much nicer when they're polished as a comparison to that. It's a bit dull, and I think if you touch this with any dirty fingers, it's going to imprint on it. So we did a little test on he's had everything done, and we did a little test on the manifold this morning just to check it, to see, and you can see that it's still quite badly scratched underneath. This is the underneath of it, of course, it sits like that. So we did it underneath to check it, and here's a couple of pistons and bells. Well, the pistons are not in, but the outer bell, and you can see we did a little test there. We used 600 paper on it, and then we just give it a little polish just for a few seconds just to see, and you can see there it is, kind of grey, and then you can see how nicely that's come up afterwards. It's just a little test area, so we know that we can get it down, but you definitely need to use a very fine paper on it to get it to highly polish. So as you can see, this one's got the gearbox in it now. That's all, and you can see now that the slave cylinders are on. They're left-hand drives, but obviously the slave sits the opposite side, so you basically come through your mechanism here through the gearbox, and then you've got operates the clutch here. And I'd made a mistake with mine, but that's been taken out and replaced, and yeah, so you can see that one is done as well. Got slaves on it. The rear brakes are sorted out, and we're just doing the rear brakes on the other one as well. A couple of quick things for the XK guys. This is a brand new chassis, and you can see here, because these cars are being S-type built with the triple carb and the high flow head, or the E-type head, or the C-type, the C-type head I think was, C or D-type. You can see that it was made with a dual bracket. Even though this originally is an SE numbered car, they're going to be S specification. So they have two pumps on them, one here and another one fits here, and they run in line, so that if one pump goes down, the other one's working. And even though on the E-type you only have one SU pump, they have two, and I think the reason was, I don't know this, but I've been trying to find out. I think the reason they had two is in case one set of points or one failed, you still had enough to pump with the other one. I don't think it was just sheer pressure, because these were notoriously bad SU pumps in the old days, in the 50s, the late 50s and 60s, for the points sticking in them. But unfortunately, with this chassis here of Johann's, I gave them a drawing and measurements, and unfortunately they put that bracket. This bracket is the original, and this bracket, I can't remember if it's this one, I think it's this one, they put on, and instead of putting it back here where it should be, they've put it 2 centimetres or 2.5 centimetres too far forward. So we're now going to have to cut this off to pull it back, because there's not enough room now to fit that pump in there. Anyway, so just another thing to cause issues, but there you go. So the last little bit, I'll take you down and show you what he's up to with the Mini. While I was at the hospital, Amir and his wife Rivka have been very busy down here. You can see they've pulled out all these little benches we had in to give us a bit more space down the sides. We've done a brilliant job, looks great. As I said before, this arch is already cut out, you can see it there. And that's got to be filled in now. And then he's working on the rest of the car. Obviously when we finish it, it'll be completely primed inside and out. And then we'll just be awaiting the arches. Extension arches, which I talked about. So everything's back down here. Remember how this was. So the old compressor. And in here, he's done a brilliant job. That bench we had, I made up quite a long time ago, but he's used all them shelves and pushed them all in here. So now we've got space to put stuff on, which is nice. Nice to see it in a nice orderly fashion. So the next plan is now, because of planning permission, we've decided there's a company called Big Tents, I think they're called in the UK, and what we're going to do is put it out here as a storage facility. Apparently they're good for 5 years on the canvas and 10 years on the framing, and then it's going to be about 12 meters long by 5 meters wide. So the idea is we'll store everything through those doors at the back there where Amir is there. And we'll make it so you can open the doors and then go into this tent, but it's for winter and summer. I think they're around about £3,000. But to build another one of these would cost an arm and a leg. It isn't the money, it's the planning permission that's the issue. This thing will be green as well, so it'll be 5 meters by 12 meters long, which is, well, it's 12 meters, that's 36 feet, isn't it? Yeah, 36 foot long, it'll be quite long. And hopefully at some point these guys eventually will come down and we can get this end bit finished as well, this road down here. And then we'll take all this rubber matting up and put stones in there so we can move stuff around. So yeah, so that's it. She's coming on. So yeah, so it's as usual, let's stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby, and catch you on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.